Hey, Coach Reggie here. Just want to take a minute to clear up some confusion and misinformation that's going on in regards to some of the, um, you know, programs and grants that are available out there for small businesses that um, are, if you're in business, if you're in business and you're in business before February 15th, and you could potentially be affected by this and have any impact whatsoever, you're qualified to receive a $10,000 grant from the government to be funded within 3 days. And there is some confusion, misinformation, and people just really haven't taken the time to comb through the details and are, working off, I guess, hearsay as opposed to going back to the law. So I wanted to clear up. So I'm bringing good news that you are eligible to receive $10,000 funded to your account in 3 days, and you don't have to repay it. So let me go through real quickly the where to do it, how to do it, and how to go about it. So you can do that. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Let's see here. So we're going to share the screen so you can see it. You should be seeing my screen right now. This is the law. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But if you go to the SBA loan site, you'll see, and you click at the top, you go to the SBA disaster assistance, you're going to see this yellow tab of economic disaster assistance. Just click there and you'll be able to apply for the loan. But in the, as you read down, there is, it shows you're eligible in response to coronavirus. Small business owners in the United States, Washington, D.C., territories are eligible to apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Advance up to $10,000. It'll provide relief to businesses that are currently experiencing a temporary loss in revenue. I really don't know any businesses that are experiencing loss in revenue in any way, shape, or form. So almost all businesses are going to qualify for that. Funds must be available will be made available within 3 days of successful application. The loan advance will not have to be repaid. Super, super clear there. So you apply for the loan, click here. When you click there, you're going to go to this page of the streamlined application. And it's very streamlined. And you are qualified not just as a business owner, but if you have a sole proprietorship or an independent contractor. So spread this word to independent contractors that they are available to receive this $10,000 grant. And the important word here is grant. It is not a loan, it is a grant. So eligibility verification, got to have 500 more employees, sole proprietorship, independent contractor. You could also be a cooperative, ESOP, tribal business concern. You can have blah, 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 and then some other random things. Nonprofits also apply as well. So if you know a nonprofit, they can get this $10,000. Now, only things that would disqualify you from eligibility is if you're engaged in any illegal activities defined by federal guidelines. If you're an applicant with 50% ownership and interest and is also more than 60 days delinquent on child support. So if you're delinquent on child support obligations, you got a problem there. Not an agricultural enterprise, aquaculture, agricultural cooperative, or nursery. So you can't be that. I think that would fall under a different program. You don't present live performances of prurient sexual nature, right? So, you have to look that up and see what that means. But, generally, if you provide sexual related services, that's going to disqualify you in some way. You can't drive more of 1/3 of your gross annual revenue from legal gambling activities. You can't be a lobbyist, or you cannot be a state, local, or municipal government entity, or a member of Congress. Other than that, you qualify. Hit continue. This is a streamlined loan application. There are a lot of horror stories as it relates to SBA loan applications. In the past, only really invasive question that's asked or what's your revenue for the 12 months preceding January, and also what's your cost of goods sold. So very, very light financial information, and you can plug it in there. If you got your tax returns in front of you for last year, or you basically have your P&L in front of you, for last year. You can be able to put this information in. I was told in 7 minutes is what one person did it for. So very, very streamlined application. They're going to take your banking information and they're going to drop $10,000 in your account in 3 days. Now, I applied for this personally on Monday. My income has been affected as well. So some businesses have been shut down that I work with. I'm not collecting fees for those right now. So I'm expecting the guarantee to hold true. The government's going to drop my fund at $10,000 in my account tomorrow. So hopefully they are able to live up to that guarantee and do that. But if it's Friday, I'll be fine with that as well. So that is the process to do that. Now, where there tends to be some confusion is there's information out there that says if you get an economic injury disaster loan, if you actually get the loan, it's going to prevent you from participating in the Paycheck Protection Program, which is really the second big program that the government has put billions toward. And it's a very attractive program because it's a loan that can be forgiven, assuming your payroll costs are at least 75% of what they were last year. So it's essentially free money. I'm not going to get into the details of the Paycheck Protection Program. There's plenty of that out there. It's in a very attractive program. What they're not being clear on and clearly stating is that if you get this grant, then you're not going to qualify for the Paycheck Protection Program. And that's not true. If you you can actually apply for the disaster assistance loan, which is what you're doing here, but you're receiving a grant. Now, once you receive a loan, once you get approved for the economic injury disaster loan and you get approved for it, once you accept that loan, you're not going to qualify for the Paycheck Protection Program. But that $10,000 is not a loan. It is a grant. Now, what it does state, and I'm not just in what Coach Reggie says, this is what the law says. Now, I'm going to reference the law here in just a minute, but the law states that it's not going to prohibit you from getting and qualifying for the Paycheck Protection Program. All it says is that $10,000 that you were advanced, you're not going to be forgiven for because you already got that money. So people are saying they're getting confused with the term grant versus loan. And a lot of well-meaning advisors are saying, don't get that $10,000 grant in 3 days because it'll disqualify you from the PPP loan. And that is just not true. Because that $10,000 is not a loan, it is a grant that does not have to be repaid. All right, so let's switch over and look at the law. Because I have the actual CARES Act here. It's 880 pages, downloaded it, full of great information on this if you want to go to the source. I'm a big guy that likes to go to his source. So we are on page 68, of that law, the CARES Act. And, starting and talking about the emergency grant, right? So during the covered period, the entity included for eligibility, including small business concerns, nonprofit, and small agricultural cooperatives, blah, blah, blah. Also, it will say in here that subcontractors are in there as well. But I don't have that in there. Let's see here. Here's the important part. That under that act, repayment, the applicant shall not be required to repay any amounts of the advance provided under this subsection, which is the grant, even if subsequently denied a loan, even if you don't get the loan. The EI, economic injury disaster loan, the EIDL loan, even if you don't get the loan, you still have to repay it back, right? Now, referencing the unemployment grant, which is the PPP loan, if an applicant that receives an advance under this subsection transfers or is approved for the loan program under Section 7 Small Business Act, that is the legal terminology for the PPP loan, right? You can reference back in the bill and see they all tie together in the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Plan Act. The advance shall be reduced from the loan forgiveness amount for the loan. So that $10,000 would just be reduced from the forgiveness amount, but you can have it. So the bottom line, if you're having cash flow issues and you need $10,000 now to cover your expenses, go get that $10,000 grant. It'll drop into your account in 3 days as promised by the federal government and the SBA. Shouldn't be any problem. They opened that up on Monday, so nobody's gotten it yet because it's a Wednesday when I'm recording this. So hope to be sharing good news on when it comes out, but or when it actually hits my account. But just want to let you know that you surely do qualify not only as a, by the way, I should have referenced this earlier. I was looking for this before, but I didn't see it. Who is covered under that EIDL grant, Emergency Injury Disaster Loan Grant? Who's covered? Business with not more than 500 employees, check. Any individual who operates as a sole proprietorship, with or without employees, or as an independent contractor. So if you've got somebody that works for you that's a 1099 independent contractor, or they operate a sole proprietorship, anything like that, they do qualify. They don't have to be a company, corporation, LLC, anything like that. They can just be a 1099 independent contractor. So tell those independent contractors in your life that they are qualified and eligible to receive $10,000, don't have to pay it back. As I interpret it, they're not even going to have to go forward on the other loan. You can choose to turn down the other loan and not have to pay back the $10,000. It is $10,000 of free money from the government. If you do the PPP loan, you're going to have to, that amount, 10,000 you get is going to be reduced off of what can be forgiven, but it's free money anyway, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, that's the truth. That's the law. If you want to download your own version of the CARES Act, just Google Final CARES Act, and you can get the 888 page and you can see it for yourself. So hope that was helpful, but I'm telling you, go get your $10,000 if you need it. If you need it for cash flow reasons, go get it. It's simple, easy, and it's an entitlement you have based on your situation. So anyway, if you've got any other questions, feel free to reach out to Bill or I directly, but hope you're doing well, stay well, and anything we can do to help you navigate these complex waters as a business owner, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here for you. Thanks.